I'm Jared. I created this video to explain how you can pull yourself out of fight or flight mode simply by changing your breathing pattern. The video also serves as an introduction to Program Peace, my method for building confidence and dismantling anxiety. As we proceed, breathe along with the breathing bar on the left side of the screen. Inhale deeply as it goes up and exhale slowly as it goes down. Breathing deeply activates the respiratory diaphragm, a large muscle that sits beneath the lungs. You can see it here at the bottom of the rib cage. When you inhale, the muscle contracts and lowers. When you exhale, it relaxes and raises. Deep diaphragmatic breathing is highly health promoting. To better understand it, though, we must contrast it with distressed breathing. When you're nervous, the diaphragm becomes stiff and tense. Its movement is limited and its contractions become more rapid. The more time you've spent being anxious, the more shallow its contractions are. Due to accumulated life stress, most people's diaphragms are stuck in a state of partial contraction, in which the range of motion has been drastically reduced. This is why it's so difficult for so many of us to breathe easy. Breathing shallowly at short intervals is known as distress breathing because it activates the body's stress system. It's usually punctuated by gasps, sighs, and momentary breath holding. It promotes fear, startling nervousness, and chronic stress, and unfortunately, many of us do it habitually. Studies have shown that it is also linked to muscle tension throughout the body. In general, the more trauma a mammal has experienced, the more its diaphragm has become stiff and tense, and the less its belly moves with each breath. Traumatized mammals switch to other muscles to support their breathing, namely the thoracic muscles surrounding the chest. This is because they're better suited for hyperventilation and fight or flight mode. Diaphragmatic breathing is an unlabored form of breathing seen in mammals that are resting peacefully. You can easily observe diaphragmatic movement in a sleeping infant or a kitten or puppy lying on its side. You know the animal's breathing diaphragmatically when its belly's moving up and down. The most common advice from experts for achieving diaphragmatic breathing is to be aware of the breath and to focus on belly breathing, where the belly expands with every inhalation. The belly is free to extend when your diaphragm is relaxed and mobile. Try it during the next inhale. It can be a very helpful guideline, but doesn't fix distress breathing at its source. Much more important, in my opinion, is to use Program Peace's 4 tenets of diaphragmatic breathing: deep, long, smooth, assertive breaths. Let's start with deep breathing. This first graph illustrates the difference between shallow and deep breathing. We rarely breathe fully, and most of our breaths are usually confined to a narrow range. The diaphragm can move as much as 10 centimeters, but most adults use only 1 centimeter, or 10% of this range. A very deep breath can flex through this rigidity and provide the muscles with a much-needed stretch. So as you breathe along with the bar on the left, try to breathe nearly all the way in by the end of each inhalation and all the way out by the end of each exhalation. Using the full range of the diaphragm will rehabilitate it over time. That brings us to the second tenet, breathing at longer intervals. The fight or flight division of the nervous system exhibits reduced activity when a person extends the duration of their breaths. Studies show that following a paced breathing metronome at 5 breaths per minute, like the one on the left side of your screen, causes stress-related biological activity to plummet. Heart rate and blood pressure are reduced, as are nervous sweating and discomfort in response to threat. I believe that done properly, paced breathing is the most effective therapeutic intervention available and should be used outside of the clinic by everyone on a daily basis. This bottom graph shows what it's like to extend the breath for a longer period. You're now breathing at the same rate, 5 seconds in and 7 seconds out. The more you use a breath metronome, the more you program yourself to breathe diaphragmatically without it. If this is too slow or too fast, the Program Peace YouTube channel offers a variety of differently paced breathing rates for you to choose from. Try using it before a meeting, an interview, a negotiation, or a date, and you'll be blown away by how calm and composed you feel. It's especially useful after a stressful situation because it allows you to return to a peaceful baseline. On to the third tenet, breathing smoothly. Everyone's breath contains tiny distortions and discontinuities, desperate little gasps. These gasps are more noticeable when you're fearful, and some people describe them as shuddering or catches in the breath. Your breathing shouldn't be composed of a series of tiny gasps. You can iron these out if you focus on breathing at a slow, constant rate. Concentrate on modulating the breath so that these disturbances disappear, making the breath perfectly smooth, even, and unwavering. Fourth, breathing assertively. We allow others to cause us to breathe shallowly. We often do it to be polite and friendly, but be aware that it's a submissive habit. Try not to allow others to influence your breathing to become cautious, hesitant, or shallow. To do this, it helps to get over the fear that someone will see us and think that we look too calm. Breathing assertively is the key to calmness and confidence. The best way to train it is to maintain diaphragmatic breathing during all social encounters. Breathe with impunity. You've now completed 5 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing retraining. For many people, just a few cumulative hours of paced breathing can significantly reduce respiratory distress. While you're breathing with your diaphragm, your mind is calm and your muscles are relaxed. This is the perfect opportunity to engage in self-care. It provides what has been called diaphragmatic generalization, allowing you to desensitize yourself to ways of thinking, moving, and being that would otherwise be intimidating. Program Peace offers over 200 different activities and exercises, all of which leverage diaphragmatic breathing to increase their efficacy. These exercises reinforce assertive behaviors, condition optimal postures, and rehabilitate areas all over your body, including the eyes, face, spine, gut, voice, and heart. You can find the book on Amazon, download the free app on the Google or Apple app stores, or access all the material for free at www.programpeace.com.